Angus here, dietitian with Fuel Your Life in Coffs Harbour. Got another awesome recipe for you today. Going to be using the humble capsicum as the main player in it. What we're going to be doing, we're going to be stuffing these, roasting them, and then you get a really beautiful finished product. So it's going to be out of our new ebook that we're developing, so stay tuned for that one. So what we've got, 2 red capsicums. It'll serve 2 people, this one as well. We've got half an onion, just a can of diced tomatoes, so get the salt reduced if you can, just a 400 gram can. We've got a 1/3 cup of dried quinoa, 2/3 a cup of salt reduced vegetable stock, and then in here we've got about 130 grams of corn kernels and about 200 grams of red kidney beans. So about half a can of each in there. And then finally we've got, well not finally, sorry, we've got humble garlic, which we're using about 2 teaspoons of, and then we've got about 50 grams of cheese, which will be topping everything off and baking it in the oven to get a beautiful finished stuffed roasted capsicum. Alright, so the oven's been preheated at 180 degrees Celsius, fan forced. Then what we're going to do, so I've just topped off the top of this capsicum, and I'm just going to want to gut it as well. So this recipe is for 2 capsicums, but I'm just going to do it on 1 to show you guys. So then what you want to do, you want the capsicum basically like that, so no top on it and completely cleared out. That's just going to plonk on an oven tray with some baking paper into the oven for about 10 minutes. And so if you have a smartwatch or any sort of watch, really handy for timers. So whack that on for 10 minutes and we're good to go. Alright, so quinoa's boiling away there. Give it a bit of a stir. Coming together well. The capsicum's been top gutted and it's in the oven. Now we just want to get all the other vegetables prepped. So first off with the onion, make sure your knife is nice and sharp. So cut that top bit. You want to keep the root with the onion whenever you're chopping on. Peel back the external layers. And then there's plenty of ways you can cut your onion. If you want to finely dice it, it's going to take a little bit of extra time. I'll probably just slice it up nice and thin, so make sure your fingers are out of the way. Use your knuckles just to guide the knife so you're not risking cutting yourself. There we go, that onion's ready to go. So now we want to get the heat on the fry pan. So about a medium heat, about a tablespoon of olive oil in there. And while that's heating up, you can just chuck the onion in if you want while it's heating up. Break it up with your hands as well. Alright, give that a bit of a stir. What we also want in the fry pan is about 2 teaspoons of garlic. So I'm a big fan of just getting minced garlic, saves all the preparation. And then about 2 teaspoons there. I mean, with garlic, if the recipe says 2 teaspoons, use 3 or 4. Probably gonna make it a bit of a nicer meal anyway. Alright, so that's starting to heat up there, just gonna mix it through. I want that to cook for about 2 to 4 minutes, depending how long it takes, until the onion is has softened, and the garlic is starting to get a nice fragrance to it. Alright, so the onion and garlic's been frying away now for a while, and the onion's just starting to soften there. You can probably hear that frying away. So now what we want to do, we're going to add our kidney beans and our corn kernels. We're going to get our canned tomato. Whack the whole thing in there. Turn down the heat to a more low to medium heat. And give that a bit of a stir around. Oh, jeez, I wish you could smell that. And that smell's only going to get better Because I did forget to mention these at the start going through the ingredients, we've got a teaspoon of cumin and a teaspoon of smoked paprika. And that's just going to go in there as well. Give it a good mix around. And that will start to smell fantastic. Yeah. Alright, so it's starting to settle down now. Now 10 minutes is up, so the capsicum is ready, so grab that out of the oven. So that's there ready to go. And the 10 minute time is how long it's taking for the quinoa to cook through as well. So the quinoa will still be slightly tough to the bite, but it's going to cook a little bit more in the oven later. So once the quinoa is cooked through and there's no more liquid inside, we want to add that into this mixture here. Apologise for all the scraping noise. Part of life, part of cooking. Right down in there. Give that a good stir around. And so that quinoa is going to continue to cook a little bit in this sauce, and then in the oven in a tick as well. Alright, so that's pretty much ready to go. Capsicum's ready to go. We'll give that 2 more minutes and then we'll stuff the capsicums, get them in the oven, and we're pretty well done. Alright, so this mixture's thickened up a little bit with the quinoa in there. So we can turn that off the heat. Grab our capsicum, be careful, it might still be a bit hot. Alright, so now we're just going to fill that with what's in here. Make sure to try and get a little bit of everything. And this might be a little bit messy, let's find out. So remember this, this mixture here is supposed to be able to fill 2 capsicums. So I'm just doing the one for the video. Try to bulk it up, fill it up as much as you possibly can. There we go. Last bit, so just half of the cheese. Again, because I'm only using 1 capsicum. Get that on top, again, bulk it up. Make the most of it. Then that goes back in the oven for another 6 to 7 minutes at 180 degrees fan forced, and then the cheese should be beautifully melted and it should be all good to go. So just be careful picking it up, it can be a little bit hot. Back in the oven for 6 to 7 minutes. Alright, that capsicum's been in there for 6 minutes, so we'll grab it out and have a look. How good. So a bit of that cheese is melted off the top, but that's alright. So now you just want to plate it up. So it's going to be pretty piping hot. So I think your best friend in this situation is going to be a pair of tongs and something to stabilise it with. So just grab it up, careful, it is quite soft. Even pick up all that crunchy cheese off the bottom. That's the best type of cheese. Whack that back on top, oh yeah. And there you have it. So beautiful stuffed and roasted capsicum using quinoa, beans, corn, and topping it off with some beautiful cheese. So I guess the real benefit of this recipe, completely meat free. So if you're trying to cut down your meat consumption, which is not only good for your health, but also the environment's health, give this a go for lunches or dinners. The mixture here freezes really well, so you can keep that in the freezer and use for lots of other different meals as well, whether you're having it with a bit of rice and some salad. but I think this is a really cool way to have it. I'm going to tuck in. Thanks.